Good morning or afternoon. Coleman Report Live, May 5th edition, 2020. Got a lot of information. We're going to go through it. First of all, I'm glad to be here. Hey, Joseph, give us an update of where are we on PPT?
I just spoke with John Riossi, our friend at American Banker, and he said that the $175 billion that was reported yesterday, they haven't updated the numbers, but his time frame is probably Thursday morning or late Thursday night when we're going to get through the second round of PPP funding.
Well, you've got to bring me up. Obviously, I've been, I've been Netherlands. You've got to bring me up to speed. So we are in round 2, correct?
Correct, yes. So the round 1 expired in 14 days. It was from April 3rd to April 14th. And it took another, how long did it take, Katie? I think 10 days.
About a week, yeah. A little over a week.
For the Senate to pass the second round of funding, which was an additional 320. So the total is up to $669 billion.
Unbelievable.
And we're going to get through that on Thursday. I spoke with Lance yesterday. He was on the same page of the average loan size in the second round being around 80,000. That's what SBA reported as well. So a lot of the big loans that went through round 1, Lance reported that the second round it's sole proprietorships and contractors, and that's just a significantly smaller amount. And so there's much more loans, however, they're smaller.
Which I don't have an issue with. I think that was the whole purpose of the program, correct?
Yeah. And so John also hinted the next phase after this is done on Thursday or Friday probably. But the Main Street Lending Program, Katie, we've been talking about this all month, but they finally came out on Saturday with the term sheet, correct?
Right. So at first they did have one a couple of weeks ago that they were kind of just testing out, and some of the smaller lenders were really concerned that especially the minimum loan size, which was originally $1 million, was too big for some of the very small businesses that weren't needing that much money for one of these loans, and they weren't going to be able to go to these smaller community banks for that $1 million minimum loan size. So they received over 2,200 letters from banks, smaller banks especially, that were saying, hey, we need to fix this. And it looks like they did fix that because the new minimum is now $500,000, which was exactly what a lot of those banks were recommending that would be good for their area. On top of that, they also created a third loan option, which increased the risk sharing by lenders for borrowers with greater leverage. And they also expanded the pool of businesses eligible to borrow.
I asked John what the activity is, and he said 0. He said, this isn't going to happen until PPP is done with. So
Katie, bottom line is, will there be sufficient supply to meet demand?
I think definitely for a little while it's going to be, but just like the PPP loans, I think this is probably going to be running out eventually. It's not enough.
Can you be more specific? Can you be more specific than eventually?
It's hard to say right now because these haven't started, so I don't know the speed and that these are going to go, and how many small businesses are going to be interested in this. But we're probably looking at maybe around the same amount of time as PPP, maybe a little bit longer with these.
Cool. Let's go to the news of the day. What is this about? Federal Reserve Board announces it is expanding the scope and eligibility for the Main Street Lending Program. I assume that's PPT, or is this? Good Lord, I've got to get up to speed on all the new acronyms. I take a couple weeks off, and the world has changed. Well, the world's changed, but the world has really changed. Go ahead, Katie.
Right. This is just what I was just talking about with the new changes that they just made to the Main Street Lending Program and expanding it a little bit more with expanding or lowering the minimum loan size and those things.
Good, good. Okay, let's go to procedural notice regarding PPP. Joseph, what's this about?
This is about selling the interest of the PPP loans. This came out today, and it's updated from last week. The secondary market folks at SBA have given us more guidance on the what the lenders what the process is to purchase the loans. Is this
Okay,
correct?
can you be specific on what the logistics are, Joseph? Do you know those?
No, Katie, you know more than me.
Yeah, I read over this one. This one's very similar to a notice that we had, what was this, maybe a week or two ago? I think it was on the 24th. We received a notice about the participation sales, and this one is specifically instead on the whole loan sales. And just like the participation sales, you're going to have to sell it to participating lenders who have the signed forms 750, 3506 and 3507. So that's exactly the same as the participation sales notice that we received a couple weeks ago. Something that's different, though, is the purchasing party may elect to have the originating lender hold the note, whereas in the original notice that we had a couple weeks ago for participation sales, they must hold the note. The purchasing lender also acquires the PPP loan subject to the SBA's existing rights, and the originator must inform OCRM when they sell these.
Very good, very good. Joseph, you were talking about Senator Rubio, and what's his current attitude about these programs?
Yeah, it was a big announcement this morning about the rehiring exemptions. Katie, you found this and you gave this to me, and this is a big step for the borrowers. What do you think about it?
Right. So yesterday we had the question 40 and the frequently asked questions updated us a little about this, and this is what Rubio is talking about here. He's saying that he's excited about them telling us that borrowers will not be penalized for when they cannot rehire their workers after making a good faith effort, which was a concern a lot of businesses around here, especially I was hearing they could not rehire people because they simply didn't want their old job back, or they found a different job in that time frame. So this will make it so it's not as hard on those small businesses that were not able to rehire them. But that being said, Chairman Rubio did say that he would like to see some more comprehensive loan forgiveness guidelines, because small businesses and lenders need more guidance on this right now. And that's going to affect how the small businesses are able to proceed and how banks are able to proceed with this program.
Katie, do we have dates on this? Has he announced specific dates, or are we just still in general?
No, there are no dates yet. We're all kind of sitting waiting. This is some of the first news we're hearing from a senator who's actually discussing this subject. Everything else has been kind of between bankers saying we need this information now. So it looks like they are finally looking into it, but we haven't heard anything on when we're going to get that guidance.
Katie, if I assume, and I just this is a bad time to take time off. How much bipartisan support is there in Congress for the PPP?
With this last expansion, I believe there were only about 5 senators who were against it, and one that elected not to vote. So it does seem like there's a pretty good bipartisan support for it.
That is definitely bipartisan.
Right. There were some things that were kind of holding it up with wanting more money toward some of the medical professionals and things like that thrown into these laws. And there was some disagreement on that, but eventually we did get some kind of agreement, because they eventually wanted to get this money out as fast as possible and didn't really want to fight on it.
Great. I mean, that's, you know, when you write the history of this interesting time, I mean, the history is, I have never seen the government move this fast, other than, really you can compare it to declaration of war, World War II. I mean, this is just, I've never seen the government move this fast. Obviously, there's smarter people than us who view this as a very, very serious situation. And I've been reading the news and all these horrible statistics. Katie, do we know, you're in LA County, Joseph, you're LA County, I'm Orange County, California. Do we know when Southern California is going to reopen?
I've been hearing news that they're kind of sounding like they want to start reopening some things, but it doesn't sound like they want to reopen everything quite yet. So they're saying maybe with limitations, some of the smaller retail businesses and things like that might be able to reopen soon.
If you told me 6 weeks ago I had to go to the black market to get a haircut, I would have told you were crazy. But I've got to figure out how to get a haircut. Just simple stuff. People are, I think we're all trying to be understanding and none of us want to die, but, we're all doing the best we can. Let's see. Last thing is, what is this? The economic injury disaster by USDA. Katie, what's this about?
Right. So the economic disaster loans did reopen yesterday on a limited basis. I don't know exactly what the limited basis is yet. I was kind of trying to look into that, but this news is pretty new. And it's also been expanded to allow agricultural businesses, which is the first time in 30 years that they've been allowed to get economic disaster loans and be involved in the disaster loan process at all.
Great. Joseph, where are we in questions? Do we have questions in the queue? Are we starting over? Are we cleaning the slate?
Yeah, we're Lance is coming back tomorrow, and we're waiting for the second round to fill. A lot of the bankers are extremely busy with their applications and everything, and I think once the second round is done with, we're going to move forward with some of the Q&A that we can get to the questions. So. Big questions on forgiveness and those sorts. So we'll get to those on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week.
Hey, we are announcing we have released our 2020 franchise NISC reports. Please take advantage of that. It's up to date now for 2020 stats. It lists all the default and charge-off rates for every NICS code as well as every franchise code. Just send an email to Joseph, pick up phone, call him, and we can get that out to you. Very good. Anything else, Katie?
Not right now. I'm sure we'll have a lot of news tomorrow.
Well, I'm glad to be back, and I'm feeling a whole lot better, and I got to find my underground hair. Who would have thought it would be a crime to get your hair cut? Unbelievable stuff going on. All right. Hey, good to be back. We'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks a lot.
Bye, guys.